They never taught you this in school. That the most important assignment in life isn't your homework, it's your soul work. And the curriculum? Pain, struggle, triumph, obsession, discipline, vision. The real classroom is not made of desks and chalkboards. It's made of silence at midnight. It's made of broken dreams reborn in the fire of persistence. It's the mirror you stare into when nobody believes in you, and you have to find the strength to believe in yourself anyway. That's where success begins. Not on the stage, not on the screen, not when they're clapping, but when no one's watching and you're still moving forward. You see, success doesn't shout. It whispers. It whispers to the hungry. It whispers to the ones willing to trade comfort for greatness. And if you're willing to listen, really listen, not with your ears, but with your soul, then you will hear the 10 life-altering truths that will shatter your limits and reshape your destiny. The first is this: mindset is not a buzzword, it's your entire world. Your mindset is the thermostat of your life. You don't get what you want. You don't even get what you deserve. You get what you're conditioned to expect. Your life is always mirroring what you believe to be true about yourself. You think like a victim. You attract circumstances that validate your weakness. You think like a conqueror, and suddenly life starts revealing paths where others only saw dead ends. And hear this well: you will never outperform your identity. If deep down you still see yourself as average, no amount of hustle will elevate your life permanently. Success isn't about doing more, it's about becoming more. So you must upgrade your internal software. Eliminate every thought that begins with, "I'm not the kind of person who," because you are exactly the kind of person who can if you dare to rewire your mind. Protect your thoughts like a vault, because whatever gets in runs the show. Now listen to the second truth: belief builds empires. Every skyscraper of success was first built in the invisible realm of belief. Belief is the blueprint, action is the hammer, and doubt is demolition. You don't need the world to believe in you. You need one person, you. And if that belief is strong enough, if that fire is relentless enough, you will light a path through the darkness that others will eventually follow. But you must go first, even when you don't feel ready, especially when you don't feel ready. Because belief is not something you have, it's something you do. You speak it before you see it. You walk toward it before the road is clear. And with every step into uncertainty, belief becomes reality. The person who believes in their vision will always have an advantage over the person who simply waits for proof. Third, clarity is power. Most people aren't failing. They're just vague. They say, "I want more money. How much? I want to be successful. What does that look like?" A cloudy target never gets hit. You must define success so clearly that your subconscious has no choice but to hunt it down. Describe it, visualize it, break it into precise, measurable, soul-stirring goals. Because when your vision is razor sharp, the fog lifts, the excuses die, and your energy begins to organize itself around that single burning aim. You're not overwhelmed. You're under-clarified. Get specific. What do you want? Why do you want it? What pain will it cost you to stay where you are? Write it down. Read it every morning like scripture. Burn it into your brain. Because if you don't program your mind for clarity, the world will program it for confusion. And now hear this next one with your whole heart. Vision is a responsibility. It's not a dream, it's a divine assignment. If a vision has been placed in your mind, it means you are already worthy of achieving it. But visions die in comfort zones. Your vision must become an obsession, a righteous fire that consumes your excuses. You don't need more motivation. You need a bigger vision. When the vision is big enough, the obstacles shrink. When the vision is deep enough, discipline becomes devotion. And when the vision is sacred enough, the opinions of others become irrelevant. Stop waiting for permission to rise. You weren't born to blend in with the background of life. You were born to leave footprints. on the mountain. But you'll never reach the peak if your vision doesn't burn hotter than your distractions. Fifth, proposes fuel that never runs dry. Money will motivate you for a while. Applause will excite you briefly. But purpose? Purpose will wake you up at 4 a.m. with fire in your lungs. Purpose is not something you find, it's something you choose. It's found where your pain meets your potential. It's in the thing you've been through that almost broke you and the lesson it taught you. It's in what angers you, what moves you, what you can't ignore. Your purpose is the fingerprint of your soul. And until you honor it, success will feel hollow. Choose something bigger than you. Attach your grind to something that outlives you. Because when you do it for others, when you do it for legacy, you tap into a reservoir of strength that excuses cannot drown. Now, we arrive at the sixth lesson, the iron law. Discipline is love, not punishment, not restriction, love. Discipline is the love you show yourself when you refuse to settle for less than you're capable of. You will not always be motivated. That's a fact. But you can always choose discipline. That's power. Discipline is doing what must be done long after the mood has left the room. People say, I don't feel like it. Let me tell you something. Your feelings are liars. They are trained to keep you safe, not to make you successful. You must lead your feelings, not be led by them. Every time you say no to the easy path, you are building a new future. Every time you follow through, even when it hurts, you are casting a vote for your future self. And the more votes you cast, the more undeniable that version of you becomes. Discipline is freedom. It's the highest act of self-respect. Because when you can command yourself, you can command your destiny. That's the seventh truth. And it doesn't ask how you feel. It asks what you're willing to do. Too many people wait for a sign, for the stars to align, for the fear to fade. But action is not a reward, it's the requirement. You don't need more time. You need more courage. Action cures doubt. Motion silences fear. Boldness rewrites the script. There is no such thing as the right time. There is now. There is always now. Every second you hesitate, your future shrinks in the rearview mirror. And that voice inside you whispering, I know I'm meant for more. It doesn't need a plan, it needs a move. Start messy. Start scared. Start anyway. Because the greatest danger in life isn't failure, it's regret. And you will never regret giving everything you had to a dream that refused to let go of you. Now burn this into your soul. The eighth lesson, gratitude multiplies everything. Gratitude isn't weakness. It's not passivity. It is the most aggressive form of wealth attraction. Gratitude tells the universe, I am ready for more. It tunes your spirit to abundance, not lack. You see, success does not grow in the soil of complaint. It dies there. Gratitude is a mental fertilizer. It expands everything it touches. You want more? Celebrate what you already have. You want to succeed? Appreciate the struggle, because it's refining you. Every moment you choose to focus on what's working, not what's missing. You shift from victim to victor. Gratitude is not a journal entry, it's a state of war against scarcity. Practice it until it becomes your default setting, until even your pain becomes a praise song. Because when you can thank the storm, you've already won. And now we descend into the fire of the ninth truth. Adaptability is a superpower. Life will not ask your permission to change. It will break your plans. It will flip your timelines. And if you are rigid, you will snap. But if you are fluid, if you are flexible, you will rise like steam from any battlefield. The ones who thrive are not the strongest. They're the quickest to pivot, the quickest to evolve. Because life rewards the agile, not the arrogant. Let go of your attachment to how you thought it would look. Marry the mission, not the method. If the door closes, kick open a window. If the map burns, trust your internal compass. Adaptability means you stop whining about change and start becoming the storm. You become the unpredictable force, the unstoppable current. And you understand that every twist in the story was sent to sharpen your edge. Finally, the 10th truth. Perhaps the most sacred of all, resilience is the price of greatness. You will get knocked down. You will be betrayed. You will question everything. And in those moments, something sacred is forged. A new you, one who does not beg for ease, one who bleeds for meaning. Resilience isn't bouncing back. It's rising, transformed. It's looking at the rubble and building something better. It's facing the mirror after defeat and saying, "You haven't seen my final form." Life is not fair, it's filtered. Filtered for the worthy. Filtered for the ones who refuse to stay down. There will be days you want to quit. There will be nights that feel like they're swallowing you whole. But if you remember who you are, if you remember what you came to do, then no weapon formed against you can prosper. Because you are not here to survive. You are here to conquer. You are here to turn pain into power, doubt into dominance. You are here to rise. Every setback, a setup. Every scar, a badge. Every no, a redirection to a better yes. This life owes you nothing, but it will give you everything if you show up like you mean it. Because destiny is not given, it is earned. Earned through fire. Earned through faith. Earned through the relentless, daily decision to rise one more time. And when it's all said and done, when they speak your name, let them say you were not average. Let them say you were not typical. Let them say, here stood a person who didn't wait to be chosen. They chose themselves. Because everything we've built so far, the mindset, the vision, the action, the grit, all of it must be sustained. And sustained success is no accident. It is engineered daily, ruthlessly, intentionally. You see, we live in a world obsessed with speed. How fast can I win? How quickly can I grow? How soon will they notice me? But here's the paradox no one tells you. The fastest way to succeed is to go slow enough to do it right. This is not a sprint. This is war. A war for your future. A war for your potential. And no warrior wins by rushing the blade. This is where consistency steps into the spotlight. The unsexy, the often ignored, but the undefeated king. Because the truth is, anyone can get motivated, but only the rare ones can stay consistent. And it's in consistency where the legends are born. You want to be unstoppable? Then make your habits holy. Tie your goals to routines, not random bursts of inspiration. Wake up every single day with the same question. What can I control and how can I conquer it? Master your morning and you'll master your momentum. Discipline in the dark is what leads to domination in the light. It's not the giant leaps. It's the 1,000 invisible steps no one claps for. That's where the real transformation lives. So yes, be ambitious, be bold, be hungry, but also be disciplined, be deliberate, be deadly consistent. Because the world is moved by those who show up not once, not twice, but until the job is finished. And let's not forget what fuels this entire machine. Lesson 11, buried beneath all the noise, is that energy is currency. Not just physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. Protect your energy like a billionaire guards their bank account. Because every distraction, every negative conversation, every pointless scroll is a withdrawal. And you only get so much each day. So what are you investing in? What thoughts do you allow to rent space in your mind? What people do you let pour into your spirit? Are they building your vision or bleeding it dry? You cannot become magnetic if your energy is chaotic. You cannot lead others if you're drained by everything. Get serious about your peace. Get ruthless about your boundaries. Say no like your future depends on it, because it does. Greatness is high frequency. It vibrates at the level of purpose, of presence, of passion. Tune in, stay charged, stay centered. Because the world doesn't just feel your actions, it feels your energy. And from that charge, we unlock perhaps the rarest virtue in a world of noise. Focus. Laser focus. not scattered attention, not multitasking madness, but raw, undiluted intensity aimed like an arrow at your vision. If clarity is power, then focus is the trigger. And without pulling that trigger, your dream never fires. You don't need more hours. You need more focus. You don't need more resources. You need more resourcefulness. Every time you choose to go deep instead of wide, to cut the noise and tune into the signal, you move faster, not by running harder, but by removing the drag. Focus makes time obey you. It turns days into decades. Because when you are all in, truly all in, the universe bends. So get obsessed, get tunnel vision, not on 1,000 things, but on the few that actually move the needle, the few that are worthy of your life force. Because you are not here to be everything to everyone. You are here to be legendary at one thing, the thing you were born to do. Let's talk about something they rarely teach: patience. Not the passive kind. Not sitting around waiting for the stars to fall into your lap. No, we're talking about aggressive patience. A warrior's patience. The kind of patience that plants seeds and keeps swinging the axe, even when there's no applause, no harvest, no sign that it's working. Why? Because patience isn't about waiting. It's about trusting. Trusting that every step, every rep, every early morning and sleepless night is compounding. That success is not microwaved, it's marinated. And while the world chases hacks and shortcuts, you're building something that will outlast fads, trends, and algorithms. Impatience is the enemy of mastery. It makes you rush what was meant to be refined. It makes you settle for what was never worthy of you. So slow down, not in effort, but in expectation. Play the long game. Let the roots grow before the tree shows. You're not building for a season. You're building for eternity. That kind of success, complete success, doesn't come quickly, but it does come completely. And while you wait, while you grind, while you bleed, there's one more ingredient, a dangerous, holy one: faith, not religion, not belief in the stars, but a radical, unshakable confidence in the unseen. The kind of faith that walks into the darkness, not hoping the light will appear, but knowing you are the light. Faith that says, even when I see nothing, I am still becoming everything. Faith that refuses to negotiate with doubt. Faith that works like it depends on you, but believes like it depends on God. Because here's the truth. There will be moments when logic fails. When every sign says stop, when every voice says give up, but faith will whisper. This is where most people quit. You are not most people. Faith is the oxygen of champions. When your body breaks, faith keeps breathing. When your mind shakes, faith keeps believing. And when the storm comes, because it will come, faith builds the anchor that holds. Now take a breath, because we are coming to the edge of something sacred. Everything we've said, all these truths, they are not theories. They are weapons. Weapons forged for warriors willing to wield them. But here's the part no one can do for you. You have to decide. Not wish, not dabble. Decide. Because the line between average and legendary is a decision. The moment you draw a line in the sand and say, I will not return to who I was. I will not play small to make others comfortable. I will not die with this fire still inside me. This is the turning point. Right here. Right now. Because everything changes when you stop trying to change and you decide to become. So burn the boats. Shatter the excuses. Stand up inside yourself and say, I choose to become everything I was created to be. And from that decision, there will be no going back. Only forward. Only fire. Only greatness. You've heard the lessons. You've felt the call. Now understand this. You were never meant to live a life of quiet desperation. You were never meant to play it safe, stay small, or simply survive. You were designed to dominate. to expand, to build, to rise like thunder over the mountains of mediocrity. But no one is going to hand it to you. No one is coming to save you. And that is the greatest gift you've been given, because it means you hold the pen. You write the script, you forge the path. You are both the question and the answer. You are the storm. You are the builder. You are the one. And the time for hesitation is over. No more someday. No more when I'm ready. You are ready because you've decided to be. This life, it will not bow to your intentions. It bows to your intensity. So raise your standards until they scream. Raise your energy until the world can't ignore it. Raise your vision until it feels like prophecy. Because when you walk with purpose, talk with power, move with precision, and love with everything you've got, success doesn't become a possibility. It becomes inevitable. So go now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, chase the thing that scares you. Build the thing no one believes in. Become the person that generations will talk about. Not because it was easy, but because you refused to settle. Because you remembered who you are. And when it gets hard, because it will. When it gets lonely, because it must. When no one claps and everything hurts, you keep going. Not for the fame, not for the applause, but for the fire that only the chosen few ever touch. Because you are one of them. You are built for this. You were born for this. Now rise. Rise with every step. Rise with every breath. Rise until your old life begs you to come back. And you look it dead in the eye and say, I don't live there anymore. This is your time. This is your turn. This is your life. And it will never be the same again. Let it begin. Then let's begin not with noise, not with hype, but with raw, unfiltered truth that cuts through the lies and leads you straight to the gates of transformation. Rule 1. You are 100% responsible for everything. Everything. Not just your wins, not just your habits, but your reactions, your relationships, your results, your regrets. The moment you shift from, why is this happening to me, to, how am I creating this? Your entire reality shifts. This is the moment you reclaim your power. No more blame. No more victimhood. You are not a product of circumstances. You are a producer of outcomes. And every time you take responsibility for what's wrong, you gain power to make it right. You want change? Start with ownership. Because without ownership, you'll always outsource your growth. And once you own it all, your failures become fuel. Your trauma becomes training. Your past becomes a platform. Rule 2. Your identity sets the ceiling. You will never outwork a weak identity. Never out-hustle a broken self-image. If deep down you still see yourself as unworthy, undeserving, or small, you will unconsciously sabotage every good thing that tries to enter your life. That's why the inner game always comes before the outer success. The world doesn't respond to what you say you want. It responds to who you believe you are. So reprogram the identity. Don't wait for results to feel worthy. Step into the identity now. Speak from it. Move from it. Dress like it. Decide like it. You are not faking it. You are installing it. And once it's in your bones, the world starts to bend to match it. Rule 3. Clarity is the ultimate power. Vague goals produce vague lives. You cannot hit a target you haven't defined. You cannot build a future you haven't seen. Success starts the moment you get crystal clear on what you want. Not what your parents want. Not what society praises. Not what your fear will tolerate. But what you are truly called to create. Clarity eliminates distraction. It crushes procrastination. It rewires your entire nervous system to hunt for the path. Don't just dream, define. Where are you going? Why does it matter? And what pain are you willing to endure to get there? Until you answer that, you're just wandering. But once you do, you become dangerous. Rule 4, master your morning, master your mind. Your morning is your launch pad. Win it, and the rest of the day obeys. Lose it, and you're chasing your own shadow. This is not about perfection. It's about ownership. How you start your day sets the tone for everything else. Every decision, every thought, every move. Do you begin with intention or reaction? Silence or chaos? Growth or garbage? The world is noisy, but the mornings are sacred. Protect them, ritualize them, make them holy. Because the first hour is not just time, it's direction. And if you don't choose it, the world will choose it for you. Rule 5, discipline is a spiritual practice. Discipline is not just a strategy, it's a form of self-respect. It's the highest form of love you can show to your future self. Anyone can be motivated, but only warriors are disciplined. Because motivation is a spark, but discipline is the engine. And here's what no one tells you. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you rebuild your identity. Every time you do what you said after the feeling left, you declare, I am the kind of person who finishes what I start. That's not just a habit, that's power. And it's how you become unstoppable. Rule 6, protect your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. Your environment is not neutral. It is either sharpening you or suffocating you, either lifting your frequency or lowering your fire. You do not rise above your surroundings, you sink or soar with them. Every voice you allow, every room you enter, every piece of energy you tolerate, it's either echoing your future or anchoring your past. The solid mindset knows energy is currency, and I will no longer spend mine on people who drain, distract, or dilute me. Cut fast, cut clean, not with hate, with clarity. Because when you protect your space, you preserve your soul. And that kind of environment, it becomes a greenhouse where discipline grows, vision expands, and confidence multiplies. Rule 7, what you tolerate, you teach. You don't just get what you expect. You get what you accept. And every time you let mediocrity slide in your work, your habits, your relationships, you're teaching the world how to treat you. And worse, you're teaching yourself how to treat you. So stop calling it grace when it's really fear. Stop calling it patience when it's really passivity. Stop letting your boundaries bleed because you're afraid to be misunderstood. High standards are not arrogance. They are alignment. Alignment with the future you. And the more you enforce them, the faster your reality changes to match them. Rule 8, emotion is a tool, not a ruler. Weak minds obey their emotions. Solid minds use them. You are not your anger. You are not your anxiety. You are not your fear. Those are signals, not steering wheels. Information, not instruction. Feel everything. Deny nothing, but decide from alignment, not emotion. Because your feelings may be valid, but they are not always accurate. A powerful life is led by principle, not mood, by decision, not reaction. And the stronger your emotional discipline, the higher your spiritual altitude. Rule 9, long-term thinking creates legendary living. Most people are addicted to the short term. They want it now. Fast, easy, visible. But every empire is built with one brick at a time. Over years, decades, quiet, consistent days that no one claps for. The solid mind sees beyond the moment. It invests where others indulge. It delays where others detour. It plants when others panic. Because it knows the longer the vision, the bigger the life. Your life isn't measured by how fast you grow. It's measured by how deep your roots go. And nothing with shallow roots ever survives the storm. Rule 10, become the person who no longer needs to be saved. There is a version of you that doesn't need rescuing, doesn't need approval, doesn't beg for permission, doesn't need someone to believe in them, because they already decided to believe in themselves. This version of you, they don't hope. They execute. They don't talk. They become. This is not arrogance. It's alignment. The final rule of personal development is to rise into your own authority, to become the source, not the seeker, to become the mirror others look into and remember who they are, not by shouting, not by forcing, but by walking so powerfully in your truth that your very presence awakens others. And when that happens, you no longer chase transformation. You embody it. Then brace yourself, because this is where it all locks in. This is where the words stop being information and start becoming identity. Because personal development is not a phase. It's not a journal entry, not a weekend seminar. It's a lifestyle, a spiritual contract with your higher self, signed in effort, sealed in sweat, delivered through every decision you make when no one is watching. And now you've seen the 10 rules, not suggestions, not theories, but laws, the invisible code that governs those who rise while others stay stuck. The difference between average and extraordinary is not talent. It's not education. It's not luck. It's how ruthlessly you obey the rules that sculpt your soul. You want to become great? Then stop negotiating with the parts of you that want to stay safe. Start listening to the whispers of your higher calling, the version of you that already exists in the future, calling you forward, calling you up, calling you out. And every time you obey that call, every time you do what's hard, what's right, what's required, you're not just building habits, you're becoming divine. Because personal development isn't about reaching success. It's about becoming the kind of person whose success has no choice but to follow. It's about turning your entire being into a magnet for miracles, a weapon against weakness, a monument of what's possible. This world doesn't just need more people chasing goals. It needs more people who are fully awake, people whose minds are solid, whose hearts are pure, whose discipline is unshakable, and whose vision is so clear. It pierces through every excuse like a blade through fog. That can be you. Not someday. Not when you're ready. Now, because readiness is not a feeling. It's a decision. You decide to rise. You decide to obey the rules. You decide to become the one who can no longer be denied. So look in the mirror and remember this moment. This is the moment where it all shifts, where you don't just admire greatness. You become it. You've got the rules. Now live like someone who wrote them. There's a silent war happening inside you, a war that no one else can see, a war between who you are and who you could become, a war between your highest potential and your lowest self-doubt. And at the center of that war is your thinking. The thoughts you think shape the life you live, not the job, not the boss, not the economy, not the weather. Your thinking, your mind is the gatekeeper. It either opens the path to greatness or locks you in a prison of mediocrity. And here's the truth. The enemy doesn't need to destroy your life. It only needs to corrupt your thinking. Negative thinking is not just a bad habit, it's a virus. It starts as a whisper, becomes a narrative, then a belief, then a destiny. I'm not enough. It's too late. I always mess things up. These aren't just thoughts, they're weapons. They erode your confidence. They bury your dreams. They make you hesitate when you should move. And over time, you don't even need external resistance. You've become your own obstacle. So today, we burn that script. Today, we write a new mental code. Because success, joy, progress, they don't happen by accident. They happen when you learn to eliminate the thinking that holds you hostage. Not just once, daily, ruthlessly, intentionally. Let me show you how. 10 lessons. Not tips, not tricks, lessons. Because if you truly learn them, they will rewire how you see the world, how you speak to yourself, how you rise in the morning and how you rest at night, you'll stop being at the mercy of your thoughts and start becoming the master of them. Lesson 1. Learn to observe your thoughts without judgment. Most people think that every thought they have is true, that just because they thought it, it must mean something. But the mind is not a pure machine. It's influenced by fear, by past experiences, by culture, by the voices of people who had no right to define you. Your mind is full of echoes, not facts. And until you learn to observe your thoughts, you will believe every one of them. To eliminate negative thinking, you must become the watcher, not the reactor. You must learn to sit with a thought, hold it in your mental palm and ask, where did you come from? Are you helping me or hurting me? Just because a thought visits doesn't mean it deserves a room. Train your awareness. Build that inner pause. That's how you reclaim control. Lesson 2. Learn the language of your mind. Words are the programming language of the brain. What you say to yourself in silence becomes your script in action. If you constantly say, I can't, your brain doesn't argue, it obeys. If you say, I'm not good with people, guess what? You become awkward and withdrawn because your mind follows your command. You don't need fake positivity, but you do need conscious language. Replace I'm always messing up with I'm learning quickly. Replace this is too hard with this is teaching me strength. Speak as if your words are carving your reality because they are. Learn the power of verbal alignment. Lesson 3. Learn to starve the negativity you feed daily. You don't just think negatively, you consume it. The people you follow, the news you absorb, the conversations you tolerate, the inner critic you entertain. Negativity is not just in your thoughts, it's in your environment. If you keep eating junk food, your body breaks down. If you keep feeding your mind junk input, your belief system breaks down. Audit your mental diet. Cut the sarcasm, the gossip, the comparison. Surround yourself with strength, not sympathy. Input determines output, so be ruthless about what you allow in. Lesson 4. Learn the power of questions. The mind is a question-answering machine. Ask a weak question like, why am I such a failure? And your mind will gladly provide reasons. Ask a powerful question like, what's one thing I can do better today? And suddenly, your brain shifts from sabotage to solution. Negative thinkers ask questions that shrink them. Leaders ask questions that grow them. Ask yourself daily, what am I grateful for? What am I capable of? What can I do today that my future self will thank me for? The quality of your life is the quality of the questions you ask consistently. Lesson 5. Learn to separate emotion from identity. Just because you feel fear doesn't mean you are a coward. Just because you feel doubt doesn't mean you're incapable. Emotion is an experience, not a definition. But most people confuse the two. They say, I'm anxious, instead of saying, I'm experiencing anxiety. One locks you in, the other gives you power. Start saying, I'm noticing that I feel overwhelmed, but I am not my overwhelm. Feel the emotion, acknowledge it, but never wear it as your name tag. Your emotions are messengers, not masters. Learn to hear them without obeying them. Lesson 6. Learn to interrupt the pattern. Negative thinking is not random, it's patterned. You wake up and think the same thoughts you thought yesterday. You look in the mirror, feel the same insecurities. You start something new, and the same doubts creep in. That's not coincidence, that's habit. To eliminate negative thought loops, you have to break the rhythm. When the thought shows up, say stop, stand up, move your body, speak out loud, change your posture, change your breath, change your scenery. Change interrupts the script, and every interruption weakens the loop. The faster you catch it, the less power it holds. Lesson 7. Learn the difference between reflection and rumination. Self-reflection is powerful. It brings growth. It helps you analyze, learn, and improve. But rumination is destructive. It's when you replay the same mistake again and again, not to learn, but to punish yourself. It's when you water the seeds of guilt and watch them become weeds of regret. The key difference is intent. Are you reflecting to get better or ruminating to stay bitter? Are you using the past to rise or to justify why you can't? Learn to cut the cord on toxic reflection. Learn to say, I've felt it, I've learned, and now I release it. Growth is not in the replay, it's in the release. Lesson 8. Learn that energy is a choice. Negative thoughts love low energy. They thrive when you're tired, sedentary, and passive. But your physiology is a weapon. Your movement, your breath, your tone, they all signal to your brain what state you're in. Want to eliminate negativity? Move. Lift your chest. Breathe deeper. Speak with intention. Train. Stretch. Run. Dance. The body is the shortcut to the mind. You don't think your way into energy. You move your way into clarity. When your energy changes, your thoughts follow. Lesson 9. Learn to create instead of react. The reactive mind is always on defense. What if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if this goes wrong? But the creative mind is on offense. It says, what can I build today? What can I shape from this chaos? What's one small win I can create? You're not here to constantly react to life. You're here to craft it, to shape it like an artist shapes clay, to mold the day, not just survive it. When your focus is creation, your mind has no room for destruction. Trade passive worry for purposeful creation. Lesson 10. Learn to forgive yourself fully. Negative thinking often finds its roots in unresolved guilt, in shame, in the silent belief that you're not worthy of happiness because of who you were or what you did. And here's the truth. Most never say out loud, if you do not forgive yourself, you will forever sabotage your future to punish your past. Forgiveness doesn't mean you condone it. It means you release the hold it has over you. It means you say, I did the best I could with the awareness I had, and now I choose better. Every day you refuse to forgive yourself, you feed the story that you're broken. But you're not broken. You're building. Forgive. Learn. Grow. Now pause. Breathe. These aren't just lessons. They are transformations. Each one is a door out of your mental prison. And if you walk through them not once, but daily, you'll notice something miraculous. Your thoughts begin to serve you instead of sabotage you. Your energy starts to rise. Your confidence grows. And slowly, your reality begins to reflect a new pattern, a pattern of power. You were not born to live with chains around your thoughts. You were not created to suffer under the weight of self-doubt and mental noise. You were made to lead yourself and then lead others. But you can't lead with a mind full of poison. So clear it, train it, elevate it. The world will try to define you by your failures, your flaws, your fears. But that's not who you are. That's just where you started. And today, you choose differently. You choose strength. You choose mastery. You choose a mind that works for you, not against you. So tell your thoughts who's in charge and become everything they said you couldn't be. Because here's what they never told you. The most dangerous prison is the one you don't even know you're in. It's built brick by brick from doubts you never challenged, from criticisms you internalized, from voices that weren't yours, but became your beliefs. And you've lived in it for so long that you started decorating it, making it comfortable, calling it normal. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean it's right. And just because it feels safe doesn't mean it's freedom. Freedom starts when you refuse to accept thoughts that belittle your power. It begins when you question the things you've always believed about yourself. It starts the moment you say, no more. No more settling for anxiety as identity. No more living under the dictatorship of fear. No more being at war with your own mind. Because you were not made to survive in darkness. You were made to walk in light. And if you truly understood who you are, what you are capable of, you wouldn't waste another second rehearsing pain that no longer serves you. Listen to me. You are not your past. You are not your patterns. You are not your lowest moment, your worst mistake, your loudest doubt. You are potential in motion. You are discipline waiting to be awakened. You are resilience wearing a human face. You are greatness that has been lied to but not destroyed. And everything you need to rise already lives inside you. The courage, it's there. The clarity, it's waiting. The breakthrough, it's behind one more choice. So stop arguing for your limitations. Stop defending your doubt. Stop holding hands with the very thoughts that have held you back. There is no room for guilt in growth. There is no room for shame in transformation. There is no room for fear where purpose lives. You don't need to wait to be ready. You need to decide. Decide to speak differently, to walk differently, to show up with the mindset of someone who belongs in the room, not someone who snuck in through the back door. Decide to carry yourself like someone who has seen darkness and chose to become the light. Because the greatest power you'll ever access is not inspiration. It's not talent. It's not even motivation. It's choice. You choose what thoughts you entertain. You choose what emotions you nurture. You choose what vision you hold. And when your choices are aligned with your vision, the noise fades and your inner world becomes unshakable. So choose the higher thought. Choose the clearer path. Choose to lead your mind instead of being led by it. And when the doubt comes back, because it will, you don't run. You stand taller, you breathe deeper. You speak louder. You say, I've met you before, but I'm not who I used to be. That's the difference. That's what separates those who live limited by their past from those who lead with vision. The ones who rise don't rise because the storm stopped. They rise because they became the storm. Because they stopped waiting for the world to validate them and decided to validate themselves. Because they built a new identity one thought at a time. And that identity once forged is unstoppable. So here's the final truth. Eliminating negative thinking isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming present. Present to your power. Present to your purpose. Present to your ability to rewrite the story in real time. Right here. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not when things are easier. Not when people believe in you. Now. Because every second you delay is a second stolen by the lesser version of you. And that version, the scared one, the passive one, the doubtful one, has run your life long enough. So, close the chapter. Write the new one. And this time, let it be bold. Let it be disciplined. Let it be filled with gratitude and drive and quiet confidence that says, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And you, yes, you are about to become unstoppable. Because the moment you eliminate the thoughts that tear you down, you begin building a life that lifts you up. And the world, it won't even recognize you 6 months from now. But you will, because you'll know it wasn't luck. It wasn't magic. It was you choosing higher every single day. And that's how you win. Not just once, but for a lifetime.